This tutorial is for 4th grade, Module 4, Lesson 1b. In this lesson, we're going to continue looking at parts of two-dimensional shapes, and today we're going to add the ray and the angle into our shapes. So I'm going to follow the directions to draw the following shapes in the box to the right. The first direction says to draw 2 points and to label those points A and B. So I'm just going to draw a point, label it A, and then another point anywhere in the box and label it B. And I'll check that off. The next direction says to use a straight edge to draw ray AB. You can notice the symbol above the AB. There's a little bitty arrow there above the B, and that tells me that this is a ray. A ray has an endpoint on one side and an arrow on the other side. On the side with the arrow, that means that the ray will extend in that direction forever and ever. So it's part of a line, but the side that has the endpoint does not go on forever and ever, just the side that has the arrow. So, because the arrow is above the B, I'm going to put the arrow by the B in my drawing. And here we have ray AB. So again, a ray has an endpoint on one side and an arrow on the other side to show that the ray would continue in this direction forever and ever. So we've done this step as well. Next step says to draw a line segment AC. So a line segment has a point at both ends. One of the points will be point A, and now I just have to draw a point and call it C. So I'm going to go down here, draw a point, label it C. So now I just have to connect the two to make line segment AC. And there's my line segment AC. The next step says draw a point not on ray AB or on line segment AC and call it D. So I can draw my point anywhere. I'm just going to move it over here and call it D. So we've done that. And then we're to construct line CD. So since this is a line, it has arrows at both ends. So I just need to run a line through C and D. And now you can see line CD. The last step says to use the points we've already labeled to make one angle. We have a couple of different angles in the drawing, so I'm just going to use one. So here is an angle. I'm going to draw an arc to show this angle. I have to use the points to name the angle though, and we need to use 3 points. So I'm going to draw an angle symbol. Angle has a middle point that's called the vertex. So in this drawing, point A is the vertex. That needs to be the middle letter when I name my angle. The outside letters will just be the other points that help make up this angle. So if I follow along, here's my angle, and it would be points B, A, and C that create that angle. So to name it, angle symbol, then B, A because A is in the middle, and C. So that's angle BAC. In this section, we've been given a diamond, and we are going to extend the line segments in the diamond to make rays. And we'll assign letters to those points. So again, a ray has an endpoint and an arrow at the other end. So I'm going to make a point here and extend this line segment to turn it into a ray. And I'll mark the other point. We'll call this A, B. And I can make another ray. Let's see, I can start here and extend this segment to make another ray. We'll call this ray C, D. I could also make rays going from A through C and B through D. So if I start at A, keep going through point C, make an arrow, there's another ray. And if I could start at point B, I can continue through point D, make an arrow, and that would be ray BD. So we have several different rays in this diamond. In our last step, we're going to use our diagram to name some of the shapes in the diamond. We actually have to name 2 rays, 2 line segments, and 2 angles. So to name a ray, I could start with the ray that went from point A through point B. So I would call it AB, and the symbol would have a little arrow above the B because the ray goes through point B and the arrow's on the side by the B. Another ray would be considered AD, so I would write AD, and again we'd make a little ray symbol above the AD to show that it starts at point A and runs through point D. Next we need to find some line segments. So a line segment has a point at both ends. So there's lots of different line segments. For example, I could say line segment BC. It starts at B, ends at C. So I would call it BC and put a little line segment symbol above it. I could also name line segment CD, starting just at point C, ending at D. Call that line segment CD. Now we need to name 2 angles. Well, we have 4 angles to choose from, so I'm going to draw an arc here. I'm going to name this angle. The B is the vertex of the angle, or the middle letter. So I know that I'll put that B in the middle. The legs of the angle are A and C. So the angle would be considered angle ABC. Again, B is in the middle because it's the vertex of the angle. You can also name this angle here. This time the A isn't going to be in the middle because it is the vertex. The angle is made up of BAD. So BAD is the name of that angle. Again, we use the symbols and 3 letters to name those angles.